Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Friday. I don't know if you can hear that. There's a fly buzzing around in my room. Anyway, I'm not going to do anything to it. I'm going to let it do its thing. So if you watched my first Follow Friday last week, then you'll notice this is my second Follow Friday. And I'm not going to tell you, I was going to tell you that actually I'm filming it on exactly the same day, but I've changed my top to make you think that it's a different week. And why have I done that? I've done that because I don't want to have to sit down every Friday and record something. So if I record a load back to back with different tops, then you'll think, oh, he's doing it every week. But I'm not. Ha ha ha, screw you. No, not screw you, sorry. Joking. Anyway, so thoughts following on from last week's session. So yeah, the first thing I wanted to talk to you about was just being really authentic. I noticed when I've done these videos in the past that I've edited them, obviously. You know, you edit them, you go through them, and they were very, very public facing ones. I've done a few of them. Maybe I've done 3, so more than 1. That's a few, isn't it? But I noticed I was like editing them and, you know, trying to make me look very cool and sexy and cutting out all the bits that didn't work. But these videos are just going to be filmed. I'm going to put the camera on and sit here and talk to you for a few minutes about whatever's going on in my head. Lucky you. And yeah, I don't want to edit these. Anyway, so following on from last week, which was about 10 minutes ago, I am going to talk to you about, yes, so we were talking last time about calendars and blocking out time in calendars and kind of clawing back a bit of control over your time. Now, the second thing that I have found super useful, if you haven't done this, I really, really, really encourage you to try it. It does take a little bit of mental work, and it's all around notifications, be that on your phone, on your tablet, on your computer, on your whatever you have. I don't know what you guys have nowadays, smart speakers, whatever. Yeah, they can be really, really useful to let you know about something. But what I've found is that they can also be incredibly intrusive. So I am a massive advocate for mental health, particularly, well, I mean, I'm an advocate for mental health with everyone, but for me, because I work and run my own business, I'm particularly interested in being an advocate for mental health for business owners. Running your own business is and can be extremely lonely and isolating, particularly when you work by yourself and you're working from home and you're in the middle of a pandemic like we all are. It can get really, really tough. Why am I telling you this? Oh yes, mental health. So the reason why, yes, notifications. Sorry, you can probably tell someone needs to sleep a bit more because he's not had much rest and his brain's wandering all over the place. Yes, notifications, there's where we are. So, come on, Jeremy. Notifications. So, I have turned off pretty much all of my notifications on everything. I can't think, the only thing I have notifications on, and the last thing holding on very strongly, are WhatsApp and Facebook Messenger, I think, and text messages and phone calls, obviously. They're super helpful. But I actually keep my phone on silent most of the time, which is probably very annoying for people trying to get a hold of me. But the reason I do that is that my time, and what I'm noticing is that my time is very sacred, and also my ability to focus on one task is incredibly important. As I mentioned last week, I have a very kind of worry brain. It's very active, and so for me to sit down and concentrate on something does sometimes take quite a bit of energy. So it's really important for me that if I'm in the flow of something and everything's going really well, I'm not interrupted. And I know what I'm like. Our brains like shiny new things. Mine certainly does. So it's very easy to kind of be swayed off and distracted. So I've switched everything off. Life-changing, like genuinely. And the reason I say it does take something is if you are quite addicted to your phone or to technology or being in communication through technology, then it can it does take a little bit of training, and it did for me, because, you know, you're like, oh no, I'm not being told what am I missing. FOMO. Let's turn FOMO into JOMO. If you don't know what FOMO is, it's fear of missing out. If you don't know what JOMO is, it's joy of missing out, which is the opposite. Great. Where you just don't give a shit about anything and missing out on stuff. It's brilliant. So I switched everything off. Another one as well is I switched off a long time ago. Read receipts on WhatsApp. So the little, when you get the blue tick, so you can tell if the message has actually been read. The amount of conversations I've had, I've done that for years. But the amount of conversations I have with people, and they're like, oh, I sent them this message and they've read it and they haven't replied. Blah, blah, blah. Just take all that like wondering and guesswork out of it and just switch it off. It's so nice. Just send the message and let it be, and just get on with your day and stop worrying about whether or not they read it and concentrate on something else. That's my view. I did that a few years ago, and it means that they can't do it to you. They can't see when your message has been read, so it's super useful. But the other big one is emails as well. So I've switched off all my notifications on email, because if someone really wants to get hold of me that urgently, they'll call me. I mean, if they can get through, because my phone's on silent. But no, I'm joking. I do check my phone I do have it facing up, so some of the rings I can see it. But yeah, it's. I believe it's really, really useful to try switching that off, because you don't get that constant interruption, because it's probably 90% of the time it's just spam, or it's just something that doesn't really need to be dealt with there and then. So I switched all that off. Definitely switched off notifications for Facebook. I've switched off all news notifications. If it's breaking news, I don't care. I probably can't do anything about it unless the world's actually ending, and then even then, like, okay, I'll find out sooner or later. I'm just not interested. What I put into my ears and to my eyes, like as in like listening and reading, is as important as what I put into my mouth in terms of food. Yeah, so I encourage you to do that, just to kind of slow everything down, just give yourself a bit of space, particularly in this time where it's like a little bit like a little bit crazy. Anyway, a deep breath. Oh. Thank you for listening, and I want to leave you with wondering or not next week when you come back, whether you can guess whether or not I've recorded it in about 10 minutes time and changed my top, whether I actually recorded next Friday. Ooh. Anyway, hope you're all well. As always, if you need anything, please do give me an email, jeremy@cookiejarconsultancy.com. Or you can contact me on whatever social media channel I have decided to post this video on. All right, lots of love. Bye.